So today I just made some tea. I woke up, talked to my niece and my beautiful nephew. Such a beautiful day. I am grateful. Um, it's such a there's so many things that are not going. I wish I had more money. I wish my course was my mental health class was flying off the shelf. But let's focus on life, right? And all the things that go well in life. uh I am actually a lot of people right now, they are angry with Melania for making a statement. I am i am proud of Melania. Trump, like, at least I'm getting some sort of like respect for her because she stood up and said something about the Epstein files. Because all this time I thought like she's this body who doesn't care whether people in her circles are raping children, eating them. Like, I thought like she doesn't care. But for her to come out and give a statement, like, I know Melania probably hates everybody because she never really does anything as a first lady. She will do her documentary, but she doesn't go out talk about like children or feeding them or have a course. Like, she doesn't have any cause as a first lady. And and like all these Epstein files, people mentioning her on the Epstein files, I was like, she's not gonna say anything. Like, these are people who eat children. We're not talking about just anybody, right? We are talking about Epstein files and them eating children. And so for her to come out and actually give a statement distancing herself from Epstein and actually calling for other people, for Congress to speak to survivors, because there are people who did not survive Epstein. There are children who got eaten. They did not survive that ordeal, right? So for her to come and say, there are survivors that we need to be talking about, we need to shine light on the survivors of this. I, for the first time, have respect for Melania Trump. I really, I don't care much for MAGA, Trump, and that party, right? Because I know they've been trying to distract from the Epstein files. They've been trying to distract everybody from talking about child abuse. I am a mental health advocate. I am very, very passionate about stopping child abuse by advocating for the rights of children. Because guess what? As somebody who helps people deal with trauma, I have to talk about Epstein files. I cannot stand and pretend like this issue doesn't cut across trauma and traumatizing children and creating a safe environment for everybody in life. So, um, this is what we are talking about. If you want somebody to chat with you, make sure that you are aligning your chat to the conversation, because I lose interest very quickly when people just want to say hello my darling, when oh, you're beautiful, like when we are talking about something, right? Like, if you want to chat, like, let's use your brain cells to talk about whatever the topic of the day is. Today, Melania said, let me distance myself from the Epstein files. I'm like, fine. Yeah, but she did something. She said, let's listen to the victims. And I want you to see that we need to listen to the victims, okay? We we need to we need to be speaking to the victims, because there are people who did not survive. There are people who did not survive Epstein. There are children, they ate. Okay? There are children, they ate. Like, right? There are people who did not survive Epstein. And we can't be too busy. We can't be too busy doing nothing, because everything we are doing is pretty much, when we say, um so look at this. I want you to look at this. Were even darker than we thought. That foot you saw is a child that did not survive Epstein. Right? Is a child that you did not see. I know some of you think like these things is a joke, like somehow. Let me show you. Okay? It's not a joke. Okay? You see this one? Right? Even darker than we thought. That's a foot, right? But they're like they ate children. The thing is, like Epstein files, these people ate children. And I know they want to distract us with the Strait of Hormuz and all these things. Okay? If you visited Jeffrey Epstein's island for more than 30 times, like you need to convince me you did not eat a child. Okay? Like you need to give us evidence of you're not guilty of eating a child. Because all these distractions, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. These people eat children. It's another level of insanity. Don't forget, they eat children. I am glad Melania said something about it, because when you're quiet, when you have when on this internet, photos of her and Donald Trump, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell is circulating on the internet. Okay? It's circulating on the internet. And then we know what these people did. And she's been quiet all this time. I have to say, I was wondering what kind of an evil woman is she? She is unhinged. She's a mother. She doesn't say any of this thing. I was kind of like worried about her and her mental health as a person. Like, honestly, I'm glad she said something, because I was beginning to think Melania Trump is unhinged about everything that happens to the children on the Epstein files. I was beginning to think that this woman, she is a pick me of the highest level, somebody who, you know, will just bend over backwards to keep patriarchy and the system going. You know, I, like I never even expected that she'd come out. If it was something like Michelle Obama, somebody like Michelle Obama, she would say something. She would not allow like stuff like that, like she's been mentioned or anything, right? And this makes me think, why now? Like, why? Why is Melania Trump coming out right now after Congress released like 30,000 more pages of the Epstein files, right? Is because people are reading those files slowly but surely, right? Look, we have AI right now. People will make videos of all those documents with AI and whatever is coming on those Epstein files, right? Things, things are going to come out. Things are going to blow up. There is no way Trump is going to win on the primaries. No fucking way. Like, you think like his enemies are not going to capitalize on those newly released 30,000 files from Epstein? Is no way. He's just lost the primaries. And I don't know, depending on what comes out of those files, he may get impeached so bad so quickly. Like, this is a wrap. Like, I can call it right now confidently and say this is a wrap for him, right? Right, this is going, uh, this is huge. This is huge. Like, the Epstein files are so bad that it won't go away. Like, this thing is not going anywhere. And the more they try to hide it and cover it and pretend that these evils did not happen, it's not going anywhere. Like, I'm glad I don't have children. I am so glad that I don't have kids. I feel for every woman who ever gave birth to a child that was eaten and covered on those files. And people think about like child eating, and you think like it doesn't happen. Let me tell you, I was watching YouTube about this Kenyan girl, very young Kenyan girl, right? Just starting, somebody in her early 20s, just somebody starting her life. And she started working in a club, like working, like places like they sell alcohol. And then they started pimping her out. And she went to one of our clients, and they went to his house. She doesn't remember the guy. She doesn't remember like where he lives, but because it was such a harrowing experience for her, he told her to go into the fridge and cook meat for him. And there were body parts of children. So if it's happening in Kenya, if it's happening on the Epstein Island, like, it's happening everywhere. I don't care where you live. I don't think evil has a boundary that it cannot cross. Okay? I want you to be careful, right? There are those like, you've had probably those porta parties, right? Parties that happen in Dubai with these rich Arabs, right? If somebody is able to do something like shit on somebody's mouth, or somebody is ready to open their mouth for somebody to dump their shit on, right? These people have no boundaries. The people who do these things and the people who allow these things to happen, right? Who perpetrate, like who make it possible. Maybe you're trafficking a girl, or she trafficked herself. She's greedy. She wants money, right? Stay away from this evil. Please stay away. Take care of your children, okay? There are people who like to torture children and take their blood because they believe Okay, this is how messed up people are here in their head, right? They believe that that blood is going to make them young or help them. I don't know, have whatever spiritual. There are people fucked up in the head. Okay, there are people. Okay, and these, let me tell you, these are people with money who are godless. Like, people can be stupid in so many levels. Okay, just because somebody has money, don't think they are smart in any way. Hi, Jerry. Right, Ivy. I vibe solo, test knob, right? Welcome, welcome. Terry in the house, right? We are talking about people who are so stupid and they have money. They believe that somehow, there are people who thought with money who thought, like back when I was growing up, there are people who thought like if they have HIV and they sleep with a virgin, that they will cure themselves of HIV. I swear, I had that over and over. Like, they they said that they have HIV, right? If they sleep with a virgin, they thought that would cure them. And so there was a lot of people abusing children because they thought, I don't know how they thought that would cure them. Okay. It sounds ridiculous to you, sounds very ridiculous to me. The same goes with these people in the Freemasonry, in the occult, and whatever. Okay, they believe if they take the blood of kids that they've tortured, right? They believe that it's going to help them cure diseases, or it's going to make them younger, live longer. It's going to rejuvenate their blood. They believe this shit. Okay, they believe this shit. they they don't see that if you want to live longer, maybe go work out, eat healthy, develop good, nice relationships, like the things that I teach on my course, like, work out, eat healthy, have good relationships, live a beautiful, happy life, you know, stop the drama, stop the chaos, drop the stress. They don't believe that. They believe they will get some supernatural powers from essaying kids, eating kids, torturing them. Like, they believe that they are ascending somehow on their spiritual journey, but the only thing that I see there is descending into pure evil, into pure hell, right? And people are busy voting for this kind of people. They are busy voting for this kind of evil because, I don't know, because it's a powerful rich white man. We are supposed to be okay with him eating children. Hmm? Why are people not taking this seriously? Like, as a mental health advocate, when I see this coming from the very top, let me tell you, and I see people being silent about it, and I see the world pretending like this does not happen. Like, if we pretend it did not happen, somehow it'll disappear because we don't want to confront the evil of the day, right? We want to pretend that somehow they did not eat children. No, they ate children. It's on the files. They ate children. You guys want to forget about it. Even you can't even talk about it because you don't want that to sink into your head that it actually happened. Let me tell you again, they ate children. Let it sink. Okay, because you will go there, eat meat, eat whatever, right? There, these are people who know, oh, this was a kid named Jenna from Austria, or this was a kid named Tom from, I don't know, Wisconsin, right? They know what's on the menu, and it's a child, and they go on and eat. It could be the same child that they molested the other day and tortured, right? And I don't know if they take all these children and they're torturing them psychologically, they're putting them in a room, and they're like, Jeffrey said he's going to eat one of us when he comes back. And I heard his voice on the hallway. One of us is going to be a meal. Like, I don't know what kind of psychological torture they put those kids through. I don't know. But I know they did torture those kids. I know there are kids that did not survive Jeffrey Epstein. Mm. There are kids that did not survive. So when Melania says we speak and listen to the survivors, let's do exactly that. Let's do exactly that. You can't come. Some of you can't come to my channel. Nobody invited you here, and you come here, Lion, and you tell me not to talk about this and that. Get out of my channel. I don't need your approval for no shit. Actually, I just blocked you. How about you go away from my channel? It is very sad. It is very sad, but you know what I think is sad is that people pretending that somehow, like, oh, we should just forget about it. Oh, we should just forget that there are people out there actually eating children. I mean, if it's happening in the US and it's happening in Kenya, I know it's happening pretty much everywhere. Like those kids that go into foster homes, they just disappear. You never know whether they just got sold. That's why I'm telling you, like, hey, if you cannot have a child, if you cannot afford to put a child in a safe environment, don't have kids. Because once these kids, they get to go into this evil system, and you hear they've disappeared, you really have no idea what happened to them. Maybe they ended up with, like Melania said, Epstein had accomplices and they're still alive, right? Epstein had accomplices. Those other people, they're still alive. Nobody has gone to jail, right? These are the level of evil that is happening. Now, Epstein was a vile human being. Vile, vile human being. Epstein said he has never seen anyone more vile than Donald Trump. I mean, you take that for what it is. Yeah. Epstein was a terrible human being. People are glad he died. Like, oh God, good. Right? Epstein said Trump was the worst human being he ever came across. Take that for what it is. You know what? I believe him. Okay? I believe him because Trump bombed a girls' school in Iran, just like that. Never apologized. He's going about his day. He just killed a bunch of innocent young women in a school, right? The other day, he comes on the internet and he says he's going to bomb a civilization out of existence. And we are not going to know about them, okay? These are men going to work every day. These are women going about their business. They're doctors, they're teachers, millions of people, right? And he's just like throwing a tantrum about how he's going to wipe a whole civilization out of the face of the earth and not give two shits about it, right? I believe he's a vile human being, vilest of the vilest. He doesn't accuse children, teachers. He's like, yeah, I can wipe out a whole civilization. What are you gonna do about it? A vile human being. Like when Epstein said Trump was vile, I believe him. When Epstein says Trump is the most vile human being he's ever seen, I believe him. Because only a nutcase, somebody like Hitler, Idi Amin, you know, all these vile human beings, right? Only somebody at that level can be like, I'm okay wiping out a whole fucking civilization and go eat McDonald's or whatever the shit he eats to look like a pig, like whew. Y'all don't see a problem with this shit. Tell me you, because me, I don't even know what's wrong with people anymore. I'm a mental health coach, but I feel like the worst, there are things you cannot teach people. Even as a mental health coach, there are things you cannot teach people. You cannot teach people to be more sensitive to the environment that we are creating, right? I cannot teach you to be sensitive about the world we live in. If you're the kind of a person who doesn't want to hear what happened to those children, or somebody who doesn't care what happens to women on a regular basis, if you're the kind of person who doesn't feel like somebody should not be threatening a whole civilization of people with a nuclear bomb, right? Just because they had a bad day. Oh, just because the Straits of Hormuz is not open for you to exploit other people, now you're mad and you want to throw a bomb like on a whole civilization because you cannot get oil from them. How's that gonna help you get more oil from them? If you just bomb a whole civilization, don't you think like that's probably gonna make it even harder for you, right? Like people who believe in taking, this is this kind of psychology. This is why I believe in the Epstein files. If you have the Epstein of taking somebody's innocence, a child's body, eating them, or like the boundaries of just exploiting people, children, women, everybody, right? Is just the psychology of Trump. He's wondering, why are they not bending over backwards to give me whatever they want, right? I'm used to grabbing people by the pussy. I'm used to raping children. I'm used to just taking whatever I want. You know, that's the psychology. That's the psychology. You know, um, yeah. And still, people will not open their eyes and see. You know, I know Trump is a vile creature because even his wife does not like kissing him or having him any closer. You who to win the second election of a US presidency is a big deal. You would think your wife would want to give you a hug or even kiss you by the cheek. Instead, Melania wears this big hat as a boundary to protect herself from this man she calls her husband, right? I know a woman who doesn't like a man, right? Because when you don't like a man, you don't like the way he breathes, you don't like the way he smells, you don't want him touching you, you don't want him any close, right? Your whole body language, your whole body language says, don't fucking touch me. I don't like the way you breathe. I don't like the way you move. Like breathing for me, you breathing is a problem. She wears this big hat during the inauguration, right? Trump does not touch the Holy Bible when he's taking the oath of office. Okay? Another red flag. But people don't see these things. They don't want to see the psychology of things, right? Right? Um, you can marry for money and like your husband. And I believe she liked him in the beginning because she had a baby with him, right? But she probably started seeing all these other things, and he just repulsed her over time. He never put his hand on the Bible when he was taking the oath of office. Melania stood there holding the Bible. Trump never put his hand on the Bible. You know what that tells me? He knows how powerful the Bible is, right? He knows that that Bible is powerful, and he does not want to take an oath using the Bible, because every sinner is afraid of God and the power of God, right? So people at that level of evil, they know there's a God, right? But they can't find their way back because of all this sin and depravity and everything that just locks you out of the light. They know. That's why he cannot put his hand on the Bible. Melania too stood beside him with the Bible. He never once put his hand on the Bible, and he took the oath of office. You you figured that one out for yourself. You figure that one out for yourself, because I am not surprised somebody like that would threaten to blow off a whole civilization. I am not surprised that that kind of a person would would bomb a girls' school. I am not afraid that kind of a person would invade a place like Lebanon. I'm not like surprised that he would annihilate Gaza, and Palestine and build some hotels. Okay? I'm not I'm not surprised. Okay? I'm not surprised, right? But you people who voted for him, the people who voted for him, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, because those are the people who really shock me. Those are the people who really shock me, because what does it take to open your eyes? You know what? When people say it takes whatever it takes, but whatever the heck does it take now, right? Like, what the heck? Whatever. What does it take? What does it take for Trump supporters to open their eyes? Like, sometimes you wonder, like, you know, are you that stupid? Like, that's kind of like what I go, like, are you still this stupid? Are you still unable to see what's obvious right there? Right there, right? That's why a lot of people, they don't they don't talk to MAGA. They don't want to be friends with them. They've given up on them. They have given up on them. Like, people don't believe that MAGA genuinely has brain cells anymore that is worth time, right? Like, like it's one thing to be uneducated, but be open to learning or being educated. But it's one thing to just to be like that, like on mega, like Trump supporters. Like, people don't believe that they have enough brain cells to understand anything around them. Like, you see, like, mega men, they're getting divorced by their wives. Like, they're saying they don't have friends. Yeah, people gave up on you. you know People have tried and they have given up on them. Nobody wants to be around a stupid person 24/7. Nobody wants to be around a stupid person who's ignorant, who who just doesn't get it. Like all that fucking time. Like nobody wants, you know. Hmm. Anyway, Melania Trump. You know what? This other lady said something that actually got my attention. Shoe. And it ties into the. I don't think that they were just eating babies, you guys. Like, I'm working on a long form series right now. I think that they were selling them for parts. Hi, I'm a biochemist, cult expert, and writer, and I'm working on a long form series on my YouTube channel that is going to blow your mind. And I'm alleging that, of course, on top of everything else, there was non ethical donation of tissue. And it ties into the ranch. It ties into the redacted ranch. Sign up for my YouTube and make sure you're following me. So he says that she said that they were not just eating children, but they were also taking their body parts and harvesting tissue. Right? And I believe it. I believe, and let me tell you, I come from Kenya, but Nairobi is one of the most evil places that you can go to. Okay. If you're going to Nairobi, be very, very careful. Nairobi is capital of evil. Everything that I've heard on the Epstein files, I have heard a story similar that happened to somebody in Nairobi. Okay. And I am Kenyan. And I have heard a lot of things about Kenya. And I'm not saying just Kenyans is another story. This one person wrote an article. It was on the newspaper, and that's back then when I was in Kenya. And he was saying that first of all he got kidnapped. He got kidnapped, and they put him in a room. Okay, they put him in a room for days, and then they came and took him, and then they were looking at his body. Okay, and they were measuring things in his body, and then they decided he wasn't good enough. Okay, but they were going to take his and harvest his body parts. Okay, and then they drive and they stop a car in the middle like of the highway, and they dump him out of the car, and the car speeds out. Very horrifying experience. Like these, the people who had kidnapped him, okay, they were people who put him in a place that looks like a lab. Okay, so this is a place that's being funded by somebody for them to go kidnap people and harvest organs, maybe sell them to rich people. I don't know if they want to eat these tissues, or they want them. Maybe somebody is sick in their family and they want to prolong their life, and they will do anything, including, if I was sick, let's say I needed a lung or I needed a heart or something, I wouldn't want organs from somebody where they stole organs from, because I would have, like, that's an organ that can possibly reject you, you know? Remember, like, the body cells know, like, your body knows, every cell in my body will know that it has been forcibly taken away from me, that if I am afraid and I send fear signals into my body, every cell in my body listens to me. I'm spiritual because I know that. I know that every cell in my body listens to me. If you take my organs and you think like harvesting organs from me and you take it to a rich person that's going to be beneficial for them, let me tell you, I will have spoken life into my organs and I will have directed them to reject you even if they give you medicine, right? I would have directed my organs to reject you, to even cause more diseases in your body. That's how I'd have directed my organs. So I don't understand why you can, like, who in their right minds, who in their right minds goes and harvests and steals organs from another person and then puts it in their relatives or their body? Like, you're gonna steal body parts and put it in your body? Like, I just don't, because these people are harvesting tissue, like the people in the Epstein files, right? The lady says she thinks they were harvesting tissue, like the cornea of the eye. They, just harvesting tissues from these children, right? And most of these tissues that they're harvesting from these little white kids, they're going to old white men, okay? I don't know why they're interested, why somebody cannot just accept you're an old white dude, die. Die peacefully, okay? People age and they die. If you are born in 1920, 1930, you really don't need another century to live, okay? Yeah, your eyes fuck, like you can't see anymore, right? We don't need to kill a bunch of children just so you can survive and have like a good cornea, right? Like accept that people die and you will die and you will get old and that's about it, right? But these people, they probably suffered enough poverty in the 1930s and then they started making money, that generation, uh vile old rich dudes. um Now they have money but they're fucking old, they're not able to enjoy beautiful women, they're not able to enjoy, even things like sights, traveling, they're old, right? What do, they start demanding for tissue from young children, their cornea, whatever, like they're kind of like now doing plastic surgery on their body so that they can have younger body parts so they can live longer and enjoy their money. They're not able to understand, like, dude, you ran out of time, you don't have money, you will remain poor in poverty. Like it's game over for you. They don't want, they just want to cling. They want they want to cling to hmm, we live in an evil world. Take care of your children, hide them. This morning I was talking to my niece. I have a very beautiful niece. There's always people coming and telling us, oh, your niece can be a model. We can take her to Europe. We can help her like have a career. And I was telling my niece, you're going to stay in Kenya, okay? You're going to eat ugali. We are not taking you anywhere. There, nobody is taking you to Europe or anywhere, okay? We are not having it. You're not going to come and traffic my niece. Nah, not when she's my niece, because I'll have told her all this crap before you even get to her, okay? I will have told her people traffic people, people do this. Like I've told her enough things. Okay, you cannot come and sell that dream to my niece. No, we don't want dreams. She's going to stay in Kenya with her son, with her family. No, she's not going to be a model nowhere. We don't want all that. Okay, we are happy with our life. We are happy with eating ugali and sukuma wiki. We are happy with that life. We don't want you to sell us these dreams, right? We don't want to go to Dubai for work. We are happy staying in Kenya. Okay? We don't want all these shiny, 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 shiny things that don't make no sense to our mental health. We don't want that. We don't. We don't, they, because all these people, they were promising Epstein and whatever, they were promising these young women, they're going to make them great, they're going to make them all this, they're going to give them. No, if you're being trafficked sexually, there is no greatness that they can build you into. They're just going to corrupt you, you know? It's not going to head anywhere for you, right? And I know probably all these women you see on Fox News, all these MAGA women like Erica Kirk. I want to know what they did to get where they are. I want to know. I want to know what Erica Kirk, Megan Kelly, I want to know what they have done, okay, to get where they are. Because, these women like Megan Kelly, right? She bleaches her hair. She looks like she's blonde. She's not even a natural blonde, okay? They have to change themselves to be blonde, to do all these things so that they can appease all these men who like blonde women, right? They gotta change everything. The same women criticizing black women for wearing wigs and whatever. They're the same women who are bleaching their hair, lightening their skin so that they can look more blonde and more, fragile on whatever, They're still playing all these games for patriarchy, right? I want to know what else they did to get those positions that they have, to get all that money that they have, right? Um, I want to know. I want to know. These society women, please. They all move in the same circle of evil. And they come to make you feel like they are better. Some of you people have way much better character, and you still keep adoring these people who have nothing on you. Absolutely, they have nothing on you. You have way much better character than them. You have way better common sense than them. Okay, you're doing way better in life than them, like in terms of your mental health. Okay, but why do you put these people in a pedestal? You put them in a pedestal, and you have a better conscience than them. You have a better conscience than them. You you know because that's all that matters, right? You can sleep at night. They cannot sleep at night. I don't know somebody who can sleep at night knowing they ate a child yesterday, or that they're defending a criminal pedophile, right? um I don't know how they sleep at night, but I'm telling you, do not let these people corrupt you, because you you have a better conscience than so many of these people. And there's only one thing evil people want to do. They can't sleep at night. They don't want you sleeping at night. I want you to remember, as a mental health advocate, your conscience is king. Your own conscience is king. It rules you, right? All these people, somebody who has eaten a child or raped a child or tortured a child, okay, there is no going back to their actions. I know people say the past is the past. There is no rewriting that past, right? It'll follow you here wherever you go. There is no rewriting such a thing. Don't support these people. Don't give them your support, you know, because you become an accomplice to them when you give them your support. You sleep at night. You keep your own conscience. Don't bend over backwards for this kind of evil. Because this is what they want. They want you to look the other way when you hear what they've done to these kids on those Epstein files. They want you to be complicit and to feel like it's okay to be numb inside. The world is such a bad place. We can't make it a better place. We are so surrounded by evil. They want you to give up. They want you to give up your power, right? To create a beautiful world, right? Guess what? If nobody is going to create a beautiful world, we let evil win. But even your voice, even my voice, a little bit here on the internet, expressing my disdain, expressing, expressing, my rejection of all these elites and their behavior, guess what? That counts. Okay. And the more we amplify that, especially us millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, the moment we tell them, like fuck you baby boomers, you eat people, we don't want that kind of a world, that's not the shit that we're gonna create. We make a stand, right? Because at the end of the day, these people are dying off, right? All these people in that generation, guess what? They are going to die off. They do not have the future. Okay, you, I want you to know your power. Time is on your side. You have the power. You have the future. Time is on your side. Okay? You can decide, I don't want to fucking fuck with anybody who tortures children, eats children, you know, traffics children, right? You can decide that. You can decide that you don't want any future leader who's implicated, whatever, that you're not going to give them your vote because that's not the future that you want to create, right? You can decide this. You can decide this because they want you to give up, right? They want you to give up, like the world is such a bad place that we normalize abuse of children, right? They want us to normalize it. I want to tell you that you don't have to normalize this bullshit. Okay, these people can die off with that. Okay, Mr. Misho, you don't come to my channel and tell me not to talk, because the only thing that somebody comes to my channel and tells me not to talk is that I delete their messages and their views, and they can go into the nothingness from whence they came from. I'm a savage on this channel. Don't joke with me. Don't come here and try to flex on my channel. I'll get you out of it so quickly, right? You never forget your power. Do not forget your power. Okay, this is my biggest message for today for young people, Gen Z's, Gen Alpha. You are very smart. You are very smart. Millennials, you are very smart. You can decide the future that you want us to live in. You can decide the future you want us to live in. You can decide to follow in those people's evil ways, right? Or you can see the light. You can decide to be an evil person who eats children, who rapes children, right? You can decide that for yourself and your conscience. Or you can decide to go to be with the side that sees the light. You can decide to be the brave one. You can decide to be the person who has a clear conscience. You can decide, right? Like you're the person who stands up for righteousness and justice, and you make that decision. You make that decision. You decide what side you're on, because there are two sides right now, and it's clear you're either with evil or you are going to go with the light. You're going to have to decide those things because, you know, a lot of people, they don't make those decisions early in life, and that's how they get tricked by the devil. Okay. I was thinking about people like Justin Bieber. Okay. Justin Bieber, a lot of people say these days that he was trafficked. His mom wanted to make him famous, so he would leave him with people like Diddy, like Asha, and they just passed him around. Okay. If you're a young person, you really have to decide early, very, very early in life, how you gonna play this game. You have to decide so early in your life how you're gonna play this game and what side you're going to be on, because nobody has time to educate you in and your nonsense and your brain that doesn't want to get what's going around in the world. Nobody has this time. Like, I have this channel, and I say the way that I say it because I care about your mental health. I care about where you're going. I know that the only thing that you can brag about this life is your conscience, right? And your ability to sleep at night. There are people who don't care that you can sleep at night. There are people who don't care that you love yourself and you're able to live with yourself, right? If they get an opportunity to pass you around, they will pass you around. That's why you have these people who speak up against this modeling agency that was looking for young men to do to model for the they call it Abercrombie and Fink, right? And they used to traffic all these men to these rich billionaires, and they would end up getting all these STDs and everything, right? You will have to decide very, very earlier on, whether you're a young woman or a young man, very, very earlier in life, if your morals, if your morals are for sale. If you're going to dance with the devil, or you're going to preserve your ability to sleep at night. By the time you hit your 20s, or maybe 18, 19, you should have made those decisions very well, because your mother is not going to be around telling you this is righteous, this is wrong. Nobody's going to do that, right? You're going to decide very quickly in 7 minutes or 7 seconds. When you meet somebody, you should have the ability to know and read people in the first 5 seconds you walk into a room. Okay, you will have to understand whether you're in an evil place, or you're in an evil place that you need to get away from, or this person is evil or sleazy and you don't want to fuck with them, right? You have 7 seconds. You have 7 seconds. You have 7 seconds. The moment you meet anybody, okay, to figure out whether this person is evil and I wanna get out of here, okay? You walk into a room, you listen to your intuition. The moment you walk into a room, you breathe, okay? You try to smell what's around. And in those 7 seconds, you decide whether it's worth your time to stay in that room or you need to bounce. I'm telling you this in relationship, in your job interview, anywhere you go, you got 7 seconds. Right? There are people out here who are evil. Young people, right? You don't have time to dance with the devil. Okay? There are people, right? They pretend that they are your friend, but they want to sell you to the devil. Okay? You don't have time. You don't have time in this life. That's why I teach mental health. Okay? That's why I teach mental health. You need to learn how to protect yourself. This is not the world where you just go, right? This is this is not the world. Forget heaven. Start with being safe. Mm-hmm. Forget heaven, okay? If you want a good life, start with being safe. Okay? Let's not talk about seven. Let's talk about you being safe right here on this planet. Right? And if your morals are not setting your boundaries in this age, the devil's going to get to you. You really must know. That's why I feel like telling young people 7 seconds, okay? First 7 seconds you meet somebody, pay attention. Pay attention. The first 7 seconds you meet somebody, pay attention. Okay? Because your intuition, right, is is very high at that point when you're meeting new people. You will find yourself like one of the things that you do that you don't even recognize that you're doing it. When you walk into a room and you will look around and you will see people do this all the time after you see me. People we smell, right? We want, like, we have this intuition that we want to smell. Like you go into somebody, like even when you're hugging somebody, sometimes the one thing that you're doing is you don't even know it, but you're smelling them. You're able to even smell on a very, like like a very deep level whether somebody is evil or not. It's just that you don't pay attention to these things. You know, when people say the phrases like I can smell a rat, when people use this language, because people are able to sniff out evil quickly, you have this ability. You have this intuition. You walk into a room, you look around, and something in your gut tells you, uh, 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 something off. I can feel it. Get out of there, right? Get out of there. Okay? People who are evil will give you that gag effect, like, you know, okay? People who are evil will always, right? They will do that. They will. Trust me, right? A lot of people fall into the traps of evil people and then they say, you know what? When I met them, they said something. They did the I felt something was off, right? You always knew something was off with this person. You just don't trust yourself, right? That's I say. If you feel somebody is off and they're not your friend, feel that. Okay? Take it for what it is. Thank goodness I'm always smelling good. So anytime you want to hug me, go for it. President. Some people smell good, but they also smell evil. But they also smell evil. Okay? Let me tell you, if somebody has been eating children, okay, they will have a certain kind of smell that will put you off. You will not know why this person is putting you off. You may not know exactly like something about this person that I don't know. Um, you will try to pinpoint like something about this person, but You don't need help. Vidyasa, right? You don't need help. None of us need help, right? If you're surviving, you don't need help. If you if nobody is harassing you today, right? You're good. If nobody is threatening to kidnap you and eat you, you're good. If you're not sick, you're blessed, right? A lot of people want this whole big lifestyle. You're stressed out because you're not living like Kanye West or some billionaire. You don't have problem. You don't have problems. You're lucky you have a life. Right? I need to sit here and get some sun. So be careful. I'm going to tell you to be careful about your mental health. Don't joke about don't joke about your mental health, please. Okay? There are a lot of evil people and they just want to mess up your health, your ability to love yourself, your ability to sleep at night, okay? Do not give the devil a chance for your mental health. As a mental health coach, most of these things you can avoid. Most of the things you can avoid. And if you're out there living foolishly, you're not going to avoid the devil, okay? A lot of young people think, oh, it's just okay to go out to the club, drink my head off, okay? There are people out there who are willing to spike your drink, okay? They can spike your drink, they can rape you, right? It's not, when we tell you, obviously alcohol is bad for you, right? Obviously alcohol is terrible for your mental health. It shrinks your brain. And there are studies that say, mental health studies over and over and over, neuroscientists are telling you alcohol is a poison. It's a neuro poison. Don't take it. But it's also not just about alcohol, it's also about the negative environment that you find yourself in, especially those people around the world who like going to drink and club and party, right? People are raping each other in that kind of environment. Don't be in that kind of environment. Okay. For young men, right? Especially young men, like, you know how you are raised by your parents and then you become a rapist. You start spreading diseases to other people, right? Why? Why put yourself in that environment in the first place? Why become that kind of a rotted person? Because this is what you happen. You gradually become that evil person. You gradually work your way into being the source of evil, right? If before, how do you think all these baby boomers who eat children like got there? They were fine young men somewhere, right? When we talk about environments that you guys like and mental health, you can put yourself in an environment that can help you grow, and you can to a good person, and you can put an environment that makes you become an evil person, you know. Like, I hope millennials, because I'm a millennial, I hope we millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, that we are able to be more discerning, that we are able to be more discerning about our mental health and why it's important for us. When I ask you to not become an evil person, right? I'm asking you for you, right? I'm asking you for you because of your conscience. That's why you see all these celebrities with money, they can't stay sober. They cannot stay sober because of all the evil things that they have done in their life. They've ruined their very soul. It's corrosive. They're not able to stay sober. The only way that they can live with themselves is when they are not sober. Because if they wake up, because they cannot sleep at night, their conscience will not let them, because it's been taken up by evil, right? You think the devil is your friend. The devil will tell you, okay, go rape that woman. But then the devil will stay with you after you've done whatever acts you have done. The devil will torture you. You are evil. Look at what kind of a beast you are. Look kind of what evil you are, right? He starts torturing you. Now you're in hell, right? He has created a hellish mindset. The only way you escape that, you start doing drugs and more drugs. Now your health starts going, and the devil keeps torturing you. You're such a stupid person. You're so evil. The devil has a way of getting into your head. That's how a lot of people, they end up with all these mental health problems, right? Now you're broke because of all these drugs that you're addicted to. You can't keep up with your bills. You can't keep up with anything in life, right? A life going downhill, right? Because they told you the Bible is stupid. They told you God is so asleep, right? That you decided that you do not want to the humble, you don't want to be humble and be led by humility, right? You thought you're too smart for God. You thought you're too smart, right? That your friends who are drinking and partying with you, you thought that they were they are the ones who know everything. Mm? The miscalculation here, so off, very, very off. Huh? Very, very off. Epstein, Epstein is dead. Epstein is dead. One of those evil people killed him. Okay. One of all those evil people in his circle, he was feeding children to, he was raping children with, right? Somehow, somewhere, dancing with evil. Ghislaine Maxwell, prison, right? The devil, you never win with the devil. He had all these parties, he had his island, he had whatever. He doesn't even have his life right now. He doesn't have his life right now. The devil doesn't show you the end of your story. Mm. And the devil doesn't show you how this story ends. He just tells you, enjoy all the power, enjoy all the money, right? He fools you to be so blind to the consequences and how it all ends. He'll fool you. Young people, I tell you, you gotta choose what kingdom you want to serve, because there are two kingdoms on this planet. There's the kingdom of the light and there's the kingdom of the devil. Mm. And you cannot mix the two. You can't even be hot and cold, right? You cannot be hot and cold. You're either this way or here. There are no two ways about it. Gino says you have to suffer first to become better. Drugs make you feel good and forget your problems, but the problem gets even worse. It's good to feel good. Your body tells you that you have to change something. You know, you can feel good eating healthy. You can feel good having good friends, right? Good friends, right? You can feel good with good relationships, you know, not being with people who are encouraging you to rape other people, eat children. Like, I mean, why do you need those kinds of friends? Why do you need those kinds of friends? Why do you need validation from these kinds of people? Why? You can feel good going to volunteer somewhere and helping somebody. That is genuine happiness. That is genuine happiness. But in this world that we live in, right, we don't even see things like good old fashioned things like volunteering, being of service to others, as if we poo poo on those things, right? There is no flex on those things. You are right. It's like sitting on the fence, going left to right. You have to remember we are human beings. We are going to make mistakes. The devil is everywhere. You're the one giving room for the devil. When you start making excuses for the devil, you start making excuses for yourself. Okay? As a coach, I say, do not do that, right? This is why you need coaching. This is why you need a good coach. This is why you need to have good teachers. This is the reason why you need to choose a good way of life and stay the course. Look for good coaching. You can say, you know, uh, like that's a weak mindset. It's a weak mindset when you start giving yourself room for failure. Okay? Like giving yourself excuses to fail, excuses to not try. Okay? And I'm not saying we all make mistakes and we learn from them. Okay? But I'm telling you, there are mistakes you do not want to learn. Okay? There are mistakes you do not want to do. There are mistakes you don't want to find yourself in. Okay? There are all these people like these days, you know, I hear like they are going to Dubai, they're having porta parties. Okay? Do you want to be a portable party for anybody? Is that a mistake you want to make in your life? You want to become a portable party for anybody? Oh, the devil is everywhere. You want to open your mouth so that somebody can shit on your mouth? Is that an excuse that you want to make because the devil is everywhere? You can't make excuses like those. You got to be serious about your life. How you going to sleep tomorrow knowing that you degraded yourself to that level? How you going to sleep yourself? How you going to justify that when you're going to bed at night? That you don't have zero self-respect for yourself. How can you do that? Hmm? Young people need to be sharp. Right now, right now in this world, the way I've seen these things, the news that's coming all over, hey, you gotta be careful. There are people who are looking to harvest your organs, right? You're out there having a party, you're out there drinking, right? They're looking at you and thinking, I could sell his cornea. He has good eyes. This person, I could sell him. You're out there drinking and partying, and you're thinking it's just a nice party and whatever. Hey, hey, young people, the world out here, the world out here, hmm, is made of evil people. You can't give the devil excuses. You have to know your boundaries. The one thing I teach about mental health is you start with your boundaries. If you don't have any boundaries, you have no hope. Let me tell you, okay? If nobody has ever told you, you don't have a chance. You're a young person, you don't have any boundaries, you don't know what boundaries are. You had better take my mental health classes and start putting something inside here because you're not going to go anywhere. The higher you go, the more evil it becomes, right? The higher you go, the more evil it becomes. And you're going fucking around, drinking, going to people's parties, and you don't have boundaries. Get something in this fucking head. It's bad out there. And I don't know, if anybody is telling you guys that you're behaving, you're going outside, you're partying, you're behaving like this is 1999 was evil. That's when like Epstein was killing and raping children. How bad do you think it is right now? For you to go around as a young person, you know? The other day, some woman went to Turkey to have a BBL. Okay, already stupid for going to do a BBL, but she came back home. She did not have a kidney. Okay, she was missing a kidney. They had already harvested a kidney from her. She went for a BBL. You go to do a BBL. And these people figure out you're so stupid, you're risking your life anyway. Why not take a kidney from you? Why not harvest a whole organ from you? Hmm. Young people, if you don't know how to protect yourself, nobody's going to protect you. I can tell you now, one of the best ways to protect yourself, become somebody who doesn't take alcohol. Okay? Just not taking alcohol, trust me, right? A lot of people, a lot of evil, you're just going to shut a lot of evil from your life, right? Just making that one boundary that you don't drink alcohol. You will always be sober. You will always have knowledge of your actions and what you're doing, because a lot of people, when the devil wants to trick you, they want you to start drinking so that they can extract information from you. And this is a tactic that has been used all over the world, right? By, let's say, if I'm an investigator, right, and I want to get information from you, the first thing I do is to get you drunk, right? And, when you're drunk, your inhibitions are low, and, I can flatter you and you can give me information. Guess what? When you put a boundary that you don't drink, when you say you don't drink, you'll never lower your inhibitions to that level. When you say you don't do alcohol, you'll never lower your inhibitions to that level where people can make you do things that, that your conscience doesn't want to do. You never lower your inhibitions. Putting a boundary that you don't drink alcohol, you don't do drugs, only protects you. If you put a boundary and you're respecting it and you're communicating it, right? If you put another boundary that you don't sleep with people outside of your marriage or a committed relationship, it's going to protect you big time. Okay? As a young person, let me just tell you these things, because I don't know if your parents are telling you. Just put a boundary on your sexual life, right? You're going to protect your mental health. A lot of people destabilize your mental health by passing you around. Okay. Like, this is what the things that happen to people like Justin Bieber. And that's why his mental health suffers right now. Even if he has all the money that he has, right? He cannot take his memory from being passed around from one male to another, like a prostitute in this music industry, right? But when you raise your kids to have boundaries, like, hey, I will not sleep with anybody outside a committed relationship, then, an open, committed relationship where everybody knows about it, you're going to protect your mental health. Milton says, okay, I understand what you're saying. I am 68 old, a black man, never been in a hospital, never been in prison. I believe in blessing someone every day. I have 32 more years to God's help. Amen to that. Amen to that. You know what tells me, right? You have put a lot of boundaries in your life. Because for somebody to be 68 years old right now, to be alive, you know, so many things could have killed you. Like HIV could have killed you. You could have gone to prison. You must have been very selective about the people you move around with. You must have been very selective. You must have had some boundaries. But young people are not taught about boundaries. You know, they're not taught about the environments that can destabilize them, right? Nobody cares to tell you these things. I'm a mental health coach, you know. I have studied neuroscience, and I have studied, you know, and I know that how our mind gets conditioned is by the environment that we are in. Okay. You build neural connections based on your environment and the things that you do. Okay. The story that you're going to remember in your life is the story that you create, right? Those are the memories that you're going to have. If you want to live a long life, right? You you need to create positive, good memories. If you want a long, healthy life that is based on a good life experience, right? You've got to be able to learn from people like Justin Bieber. Okay. He has money, yes, right? But he doesn't have good memories, because nobody creates good memories by being passed around in the industry, right? That is something, okay? They don't want you to know that your conscience is king. You just don't want to have money. You also want to have the ability to feel at peace with the money that you have and the things that you have created and acquired. You want to be proud of yourself for not cutting corners, okay? That is what's going to give you joy and fullness of life. That's what's going to help you be like Milton, 68 years old, happy with your life, contented with your life. That is real wealth. This is what the materialistic society does not want you to know, that the real wealth is being peaceful in your mind, having a full heart, enjoying your relationships, right? Having a good health, right? They don't want to coach you into this kind of mental health way of thinking, right? Maybe you will meet somebody like Milton, who is 68 years old, who understands this wisdom. But this wisdom is not what's going to be advertised in the TV. This is not what you're going to see with social media influencers. They're not gonna tell you that you have ability to create a beautiful life all on your own. But you gotta need some common sense and some wisdom and some boundaries, and look into safe environments where you can grow that healthy mindset. They don't want you to tell you that. They want you to think like you need a big car to make you happy. You need a beautiful, beautiful wife to make you happy. You need a big, big house to make you happy. Okay, that crap is what's being sold. And if you're foolish enough, you're going to buy that, right? A lot of people said the youth is wasted on the young. Youth is wasted on the young because they don't have fucking wisdom. They don't have any wisdom, right? So it's a waste. It's a very huge waste, right? Nobody's gonna tell you those things. You know, it took me a long time to understand, like, I'm working for corporate America and I'm wasting my life. And even if I'm making money, I'm still in a negative environment. And every time a day goes by when I'm there, I'm not able to work on my ideas. I'm not able to work on my ideas, on my future, and the things that I want. Okay. You read these books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and they're telling you, you gotta learn how to invest your time and the things you do. Let me tell you, people are afraid because starting is super hard, right? Very, very hard. But if you invest in yourself slowly, 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 you will build an empire. You know, you buy a small piece of land, you start putting a little bit of 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 brick here and there, brick here and there. Eventually you build your house. You have a place you can call a place you can sleep at night. You start another project. You build yourself slowly, 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 slowly. You build yourself. But right now, we are wasting a lot of time getting employed, putting all of our time on these other people's and their business. They're building their families, their life, and they're going to discard you. It's a narcissistic system. They're going to discard you somewhere down the line, and you will have wished that you built something for yourself. All this wisdom is out here. People in their 60s, 70s are telling us this. Few of us even listen. We are not listening. Hmm? It is the world that we are living in. Yeah. Derek, from you're very beautiful. Stay focused, keep God first, and keep your head to the sky. You're very, very special. Okay, smile. Amen to that. You know, our generation, we are the ones who are going to take on the future. No, you're young right now. If you take care of your health, okay, You're going to outlive so many people right now if you start taking care of your health. That tells me you're going to be a leader in the future, because what people do is they don't take care of their health, and they become weaker and weaker and weaker, and most people die. By the time they hit 68, 70, people are not able to function at 75. But if you start taking care of yourself right now, right? You start taking care of yourself right now, you're strong in your 68, 70, it means you're a leader, definitely a leader, right? And if you have somebody, and if you're somebody who has a good conscience, you will become a leader somehow. If you're somebody who's working on your goals a little bit every day, every day, every day, you're going to become a leader. But there's no rush to get there, right? No rush to get there. What I mean is, don't let the devil tell you that you will never get there, or doubt yourself, or think you have to cut corners in life to get there, or think that you have to play with the evil people to get there. There's two ways you can get to something good. You can use the devil or you can use God. But you do it through a spiritual life, and you can decide what spiritual life you're going to support. Yeah. I believe truly I am a strong Black woman, but what I want Black women to be confident in themselves, right? To know, because they're intelligent, obviously, even beautiful. And right now, to be honest, I know a lot of women can see the trappings of the devil, because a lot of women are leading in education and understanding mental health. You may not know exactly what will happen in the future, but I can tell you there are consequences to your action, right? Even the Bible tells you there are consequences to your action. You know, when the Bible tells you, oh, the wages of sins is death. Okay. If you're a married person and you're sleeping around, you may take that to mean that your marriage is coming to a death. Your relationships are coming to a death. Okay. If you're a thief, and the consequences of being a thief is that your days are numbered. Common sense tells you a death is coming your way, right? Like, if you're a farmer and you're working hard in the right season, you're planting, and the rains are going to come, there's going to be a reward somewhere in the future. Okay. It's not like you're completely stupid, you cannot predict the future, right? There are outcomes you can predict. uh, there is foresight, there is the eye of wisdom, right? That's why we use wisdom. My aloe vera, my hummingbirds, they like this tree, right? Yeah, like, what else do you need to know? Like, if you're with company of people who are drinking all the time, having promiscuous sex, what do you think that's going to happen to your life? How do you presume that that's going to play out in the end, right? I was watching a documentary yesterday and they were saying that Fiji Fiji is leading in the new HIV like new HIV infections. People are doing drugs, they're sharing needles, right? Married people are going outside of their marriage and bringing HIV to their family, to their wives. Kids are being born with HIV. One child is dying of HIV every month. A doctor sees a child and that's probably just one doctor, right? That says, I see a child die of HIV every month. He's not the only doctor who sees that, right? So we can imagine those rates are much, much higher. You want to tell me those people don't know HIV is preventable? You want to tell me that those people, they cannot predict that future and where it's going to go, right? You have eyes, you can see. You have eyes, you can see. The most important things you can see, right? Most important things you can see. The same way people think, oh, it's okay to vote for Trump for president. Okay, fine. Let's see how this goes. A person who can't even take the oath of office and put a hand on the Bible. Oh, you want to see how this is going to turn out? Oh, you're going to see it. You know, you're going to see it. A lot of people don't think there is consequences. Oh, we can predict the future. Oh, you can predict the future. Oh, you can know the consequences. You're not that foolish, right? Even the Bible says the blind cannot see, you know, like, oh, the Bible when says the blind cannot see, it's, it's a book of wisdom. It says you have eyes, but you don't see. The only reason why some people don't see is because, their wisdom eye has not opened, right? Life is so predictable that you don't even need to be a scientist or to have all these algorithms or systems of prediction to see where things are headed. Okay, life is more predictable than it's not, right? How many people could have predicted Trump would be this way? The first time in office was halfway decent, but he must have suffered a stroke. Oh please. Oh please. How many you're asking how many people who could have predicted Trump would be this way? Okay, first he's a con man. He has raped women. People who've done business with him said he's the worst possible thing that you could have for president. Oh please. You're telling me that what Trump is doing and all this madness just came as a surprise? Really? Like Trump is a con man. Everything he said is not Everything that comes out of the mouth of a con man, you're not supposed to believe it, right? Like, this is not hindsight. No, this is not hindsight. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. People knew exactly the kind of evil they were voting for Trump. I mean, Kamala Harris said it. You can go and see everything that Kamala warned us about the economy, about everything he was going to do. Kamala even said it, okay? This wasn't something that, oh, that this came as a surprise to people. No, I won't give you that excuse. This is something that only the stupid of the stupid people find it as a surprise. Okay? Majority of the people who did not vote for Trump, okay, knew exactly the kind of person he was. Okay? And they were shocked that somebody can think that somebody who has been found guilty of raping women, who has been found guilty of committing crimes like stealing from people, and somebody who's been mentioned on the Epstein files, they were surprised that somebody thinks that, oh, this is the best guy to be the president of the United States. Oh, he's evil, but we can give him more power and more money because we have the magic wand to transform an evil person into a good person. Exactly. he he won because of the Christian vote. Trump would not put his hand on the Holy Bible when he was taking the oath of office. Okay, he won because Christians on the right are racist. Okay, there is no better racist in America than the Christian. And Trump's whole campaign was racism. Okay, he won because of racism, right? Trump is a pragmatist. Trump will use whatever he needs to use to win an election. And he knows that the base is going to vote for him because he says racist things. He paid people to say Puerto Rico is a floating pile of garbage. He said how, Asians eat American pets. He doesn't believe in these things. He knows they are not these things, but he knows it will hype enough people to vote for him. This is this is a vile human being. Even his wife knows it, right? Even his wife knows he's vile, right? um she has to support him, but outside of that support, she doesn't want to touch him or anything, right? um right, but you can't yeah. So let me tell you, if you voting for somebody because you know he's racist and that he's going to do evil things to other people, he's going to separate their families, deport them, do all these things that you're like, oh, he's going to do all these evil things to other people. You don't think that evil is somehow going to ricochet, or you think he just has a boundary for just hurting other people, but not you? It's kind of like being friends with a bully, and you're like, oh, he's just going to bully other people, but because I'm his friend, I'm protected, right? That's the voting mindset. It's actually very stupid and very easy to understand. Like, American politics is not like these wild like things that we cannot predict. People are driven by hate. They vote for hate. They vote for systems that they will think will oppress other people. This is America. It's always been like this. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. And so, you know, when 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 you dance with the devil, you're thinking the devil is my friend. He's not going to hurt me. He's only being my friend. People were told about what tariffs do to the economy. They make everything more expensive. People try to tell them, like, Mexico and China will not pay for the tariffs. It's the small business people that pay for the tariffs. And when the small business people pay for the tariffs, they make everything expensive. You're going to tell MAGA that they will pay for the tariffs? You think they're going to believe you? You think you're smart? You think they're going to believe you? Now they're like, how did we know all this was going to happen? Of course, they didn't know it was going to happen. You think they were listening or paying attention? This just brought them as a surprise. They're very shocked. They're very surprised because you try to tell them what tariffs do to an economy. I hope now they know. I really genuinely hope like now the lesson hit home because Kamala kept telling them, right? We kept telling them about tariffs and what they do. Like, you know, Trump put tariffs on his first term and it affected small businesses. So, like, first of all, these are people who don't learn, no ability to learn. Because if you are in business, like I was in business during Trump's term, and the moment those tariffs came and I was importing things from China and I had to pay tariffs, right? I understood quickly what tariffs do. They make the goods that I am selling more expensive. So I have to hike the prices and inflation goes high because, they're making me pay the duties to the government. And so I have to charge that. And fucking people did not know what tariffs do to the economy. And now they say they are shocked about what's happening in Trump's term. He told you about the tariffs. We try to tell you what tariffs do to the economy. Now you're surprised we are here? You're surprised? No, you're mad at him? He didn't even lie to you? It is painful when you have to vote to make the world a better place. But the people you're voting with are not, don't have that. They are all flawed. They are all corrupt. He didn't do anything so bad in his first time. It's easy to look at something after the fact. He was not okay the first time. The way he handled COVID was terrible, right? Um, his first term, he, right, he lost the election and he had people storm the Capitol. That was the time Floyd was murdered by the police, right? He was so silent that people, because of all the racism he had encouraged in that term, the police murdered this guy who was like, who couldn't breathe. Trump never said anything, right? He let all this chaos. He let all this chaos go on and on and on. People were rioting. People were not rioting. People were out on the streets demonstrating, right? He doesn't care. He doesn't care for America to the core, right? He doesn't think, he only cares about the idea of America being white. He doesn't care about America that, for me, that I see with Black people, with Hispanics, a boiling pot of cultures. He doesn't care for that, okay? Because he campaigns on racism. But Trump is an equal offender, okay? He's an equal offender. Right now, the people that are getting mad with Trump are not even people on the left. The people on the left already accepted that he won the election and that they have to live through the madness. Okay? Like, we already expect this. It's not new. Like, nobody cares on the left. People don't care. We're just wanting to see how much is going to wreck everything that people have tried to build. We're just waiting to see how much damage goes on because we know it's bad. We know it's going to get worse, 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 and we have 2 more years to go, right? We are not surprised. We know it's going to get worse and worse and worse. The people that are surprised are the people who voted for him. I don't know why they're surprised. I just think that there are, there are a mix of people, right? There is the young, gullible, uneducated people, right? The big part of that being millennials, people my age, okay? They're just gullible. They listen to people like Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk, okay? Like those, like Joe Rogan, like these are young people who are so impressionable and stupid. They don't have any civil education, right? And then we have the baby boomers who are just, most of them, kind of racist, okay? Their only philosophy is racism, and that philosophy they put in that philosophy to millennials who are mostly their children, and that's why millennials voted that way. They voted with their parents. um I knew it was amazing. It was something special about you because I can look into people's eyes. You are chosen. I just wanted to let you know I love you and you have a great day or night. Thank you so much, Derek. I don't know why Americans don't take to the streets to stop his madness. The way he's talking like a madman, he surrounded himself by yes men, so nobody dares to to tell him he is crazy. I mean, this has always been the case. Um, Trump said, okay, he can go to Times Square, he can shoot a man, and nothing will happen to him. He said that. This is a person who said he can go to Times Square in New York, shoot somebody, and nothing will happen to him. This is a person who made people go and storm the Capitol, telling them that the election was rigged and he won the presidency, okay? And these are people throughout Biden's administration, they kept saying that Biden is not president, that president is Trump because he won the election, okay? So let me tell you, when people are in a cult, when people want to believe lies because they want to believe fascism and hatred, and they unite themselves towards hatred for other people, there is no logic. They haven't united because there's something logic that's holding them or binding them, right? He cannot do any wrong. A leader like that cannot do anything wrong. He has full support of MAGA, his base. Okay, because they share one thing, you know, hatred for people of color. As long as that stays solid and unifying, there will be nothing to shake that party. That's what unifies them. Okay, they are not united because of logic, because they care for the economy. Because if they care for the economy, oh, we should be having a major fraction right now. We are not having a major fraction. Okay, if they cared about humanity, oh, we should have a major fraction, right? Look at what's happened to Lebanon. Look at what's happened to Palestine. Look at the person who said he's going to bomb a whole civilization off the face of the earth. Okay, if they voted for either the economy or the people, we should be having people, MAGA should be upset right now. Have you seen them take to the streets? Have you seen MAGA take to the streets? Have you seen them? The only people you see in the streets are the Democrats doing their no kings thing and saying no. MAGA has hope that their agenda of creating a racist America where white people get all the benefits and people of color scramble for the leftovers, as long as that is on the agenda, they will suffer whatever they can suffer right now as they get that. So you don't know why. Like, I don't know, CJ, why you even surprised. Like, he's always been like this. He's been like this. He encouraged people to go storm the Capitol, right? People died there. People died that day, right? He came and pardoned all those people, right? I don't understand, like, why this is a shock to you. Like, I don't know why you're shocked, right? Because the devil have a way of the skies of himself. He can get ready and fit with everyone, but if you don't have the spirit, then you can't see it, right? Yeah, sometimes I think it's spiritual blindness. It's a spiritual blindness. Christians, for me, let me tell you, Christians are a bunch of hypocrites and they're not discerning. Um, so I'm a Christian, okay? I'm a Christian. But I see a lot of young people move away from the Christian religion because most Christians are hypocrites. They don't practice what they preach, right? That's why I don't like to preach to Christians or Christianity, right? Because you really need to check yourself before you preach to other people. Somebody says, by the way, most of the people on the Epstein files were Democrats. Look, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Okay. We have Clinton on those files, right? Um, I would not be surprised, but I know a good number of those ones are people on the right too. People on the right are hypocrites. They'll be like, oh, these people are gay, these people are that. Look at what Christy Norm did. Her husband is caught wearing massive boobs. Okay? People on the left are not even surprised. People on the left don't say don't wear female clothes. Just don't pretend. Okay? Don't tell people to not be cross dressers, to not be transgender when you know that you're telling us you're on the right, you're so good for the human soul. Then we catch you with child pornography. Then we catch you with all these things, right? Like it's always the pastor that will shock you. People believe them, people on the right, and then you hear, oh, he's molesting children. Oh, he's wearing women clothes. Oh, his wife had an abortion. Okay. They are fighting all these things, you know, like human rights, women rights. They're fighting people from being gay when they are gay themselves. They are fighting like, if there's a Democrat, there is no Democrat that you hear, or people on the left. We are not going to say don't release. We want you to release the Epstein files. We want you to take those people to jail. Okay. We are not going to hide this. Okay. Don't come tell us you're a Christian and that and you're preaching all these things and then you're a hypocrite. Okay. This is what happens with the people on the right. Okay. America is apathetic. I am going to give you that, right? America is apathetic. 100%. The biggest problem we have in America right now is people are apathetic. But there's a reason why they are that way. This system is meant to stress you so badly that you don't have any sympathies for anybody else, you know? And the politicians, they do that so that they can play Americans against themselves. You see, if you know that you are very apathetic, then that's how you know you've been fucked up by the system, right? The moment like you don't care about other people, that's the time you know they got you. The devil got you already, you know, because the politicians, they just have to make you feel like your life is difficult because of somebody else. They give you that lie. They don't care how you slide it as long as they get your votes. Okay? Trump is going to fuck up this economy, but he's going to tell you it's the immigrants are the problem, right? And the people on the right will chew that up, right? Because they gotta blame somebody, right? They gotta blame somebody. Yeah, the people on the left, they don't think immigrants are the problem. That's the difference, right? They understand the system. They don't think immigrants are the problem. The people on the right, they've been fooled to think that the person ruining the economy is not the politicians or the corporations, is that one guy over there. Hey, if you think I'm not a Christian, I'm gonna fight you for that. Okay? I'm not gonna fight you for that. You have the right to think. You have the right to your brain cells. I don't take no offense. Okay. Yeah. Their fights we won't fight. Will is talking about Dems and Republicans in power. You should be looking at policies, you should just be looking at policies at the end of the day. The policies that people are advocating for. That's what's going to affect your life. Yep, yep, yep. So anyway, may you be happy and live with a joyful heart. May you be healthy and live with a body that gives you energy. And may you be safe and protected from all sorts of inner and outer harm. Okay. Even if I say may you be safe and protected, I hope you protect yourself. Okay. A lot of things, you will need your wisdom to protect yourself. You can't say God will protect me and then you go sleep around and get diseases. You can't say God will protect me and then you go around drinking and doing whatever with anyone, right? May you be safe and protected, but may you have wisdom that helps protect you. May you have boundaries that help protect you, right? You don't defend yourself with people who say, oh, you're not a Christian. Okay, fine, fine. Whatever you say, because you're God and you know me better than God knows me. I don't care. And may you live with the ease that comes with well being, right? That's how you win, when you live with the ease that comes with well being. You can choose your mindset, you can choose a lot of things, right? Um, you can choose how you want to live your life. But however you choose it, I hope you live with the ease that comes with well being. Have good boundaries that protect your mental health. Have a good one. Talk to you later.